Hi there and welcome back to my Do What You Love series, where I'm going to teach you how to go from perhaps not being sure if you're doing what you love or having no idea what it is you would like to do with your life to knowing exactly what kind of things light you up and having a plan to move forward and spend your life truly pursuing something that really fulfills you and that you love doing. So my name is Kia Cannons. I am a happiness and mindset coach, and today we're going to carry on in our series. And at this point, we're still in the early stages of doing some inner self-discovery work. I've already got a few videos before this, so if you're finding me for the first time, then just click on my name and you will see the previous videos in this series. And you might want to start at the beginning. So today we are carrying on this theme of doing some inner work before we get started. It is so easy to jump into strategies and picking something and making that happen. But what I always say is far more important is to take a step back before you even think about strategizing and making things happen. And first of all, do some research work into what it actually is that lights you up, who you actually are, what your tendencies are, what you love, what drains you, all those kind of things. And from there, from that research, it will become pretty obvious what it is that you want to pursue that is going to suit all aspects of yourself, how you thrive in work, making sure that you're not sort of relying on a lot of areas that might be your weak spots, but actually getting into your zone of genius and into the things that truly light you up. And there's so much more. But anyway, before we get too carried away, let's get on with this week's questions. So I would like you to go away and either in a journal, like I've said in previous videos, you might want to get a journal that is just related to these videos, where every week you answer the questions and the exercises that I give you in my weekly videos. And that way you're going to keep all that information that you're working so hard to pull out of what's in here and what's in here, all in one place. So this week's questions are, the first one is, what about my life now would make my 8-year-old self sob? I found this to be incredibly enlightening when I asked myself this question like 5 years ago or something. The things that came up out of that were really being accessed by the deepest parts of my inner child. And that is a huge part of what we're doing here. It's getting through all the different layers of conditioning and what life has taught us and how we feel we need to behave as grown-ups and actually accessing our true selves. And part of that is accessing our inner child. And so if you can tune into what you think your old 8-year-old self, how many ever moons ago that was, what that little mini you would sob about something about your life today, that is going to give you huge clues as to what is important to you. So that was question number one. And then I would like you to answer this next question, which is, what reminds me of who I am? So it's a bit of an abstract question, but with this, we're looking for things like, you're looking for what gives you a sense of feeling truly alive, that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? When you experience something and you just feel like, I feel really alive in this moment, or I really feel like I've come back home, like I'm truly me, like there is some part of me in here that is feeling so incredibly fulfilled and at home and at ease because of this experience. So again, take as long as you need to answer these questions. I always find it's really useful to just let whatever pops into my head pop straight out onto the paper with no filtering whatsoever, because you'll be surprised. You might think, I'm not going to write that down. I don't believe that. But capture the initial things that jump out of your head, because they often have the most truth to them. And if you look back at them later, you will find there might be some gold in there. And then allow it to percolate in your head. Either spend a few more minutes and really search for some answers, or another thing that I do is after that, I will then spend the day just setting an intention, with my subconscious to please let more answers flow out. Like, I want to know the answers to these questions. So I get the rapid fire stuff, I apply myself for a bit, and then I allow my subconscious to work on it, and often more answers will bubble up. Okay, so question number 3 for this week, and our final question is, what do I love doing? Again, same thing. What jumps out of your head? What do you find when you spend a little time setting the intention to really think about it? And also what comes up maybe a couple of days later or a couple of hours later. And add that to your dossier that you are now beginning to create through answering these weekly questions and exercises. It is the most satisfying thing in the world to begin to put a picture together of who you are and to truly know yourself. It is so easy, guys, to sleepwalk through life, only thinking about your next responsibility, the next obvious thing your career or your life is demanding of you. Just dealing with the humdrum, the normal, boring life admin stuff, and never take the time to truly get to know you. And yet we can also spend so much of our time feeling quite frustrated with, why am I not happy? Or how on earth do these people get to do what they love and seem so happy? How am I going to do that for myself? Well, this video series is the critical step that you need to do before you start looking at all of those things. Like, how do I get my life better? How can I be more fulfilled? It's do the inner journey work to discover who you are, what lights you up, what drains you, and all those kind of things I've already mentioned before. So good luck with your lessons this week. As usual, if you have any questions, feel free to just drop me a line at hello@kiacannons.com. I'll make sure there's a link to that beneath this video. And if you want to dive deeper on these things, which are, I believe the most critical things in life. I think the most critical thing in life is to be happy. And in order to be happy, you need to be able to know truly who you are, get on the path to doing what you love, and understand how your mind works, so that your mind, your inner critic, and that inner voice that can be so incredibly critical, isn't going to kick you off that path by saying everything's too scary, I don't know what I'm doing, and all the limiting beliefs and those kind of things, charging in and taking you off course and putting you right back in the stuck position that you might be in now. So if you want to take this much deeper, then feel free to check out my membership. It's a group coaching program and community where you, along with other like-minded women, are on the same journey, and every week you get fresh lessons and exercises and audios and all sorts of beautiful things to empower you on your own journey and get you to be doing what you love too. So feel free to check that out. There's a link below as well, and I'll see you next week.